Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future home buyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of home ownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923, AnyMac Home Mortgage, an equal housing lender, American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC, DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage, LoFi Direct, Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent, License Lender, Broker Number ML 338923, Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License Number MC 338923, Rhode Island License Lender, License Number 201128110L. Call for additional details.
Sanderson looking in, zone for a pass. He's looking for King, intercepted. He's going to go down the right side. Lawrence down to the 20, 30, down to the 40. He might go all the way.
3rd down and 7. Good jump off the line by Strahan, who gets the sack. Pressure from Thomas off the edge. Eli Manning stays on his feet. Airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree.
4-man rush. Eli throwing into traffic on the sideline. They're going to rule it a catch by Manning.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Drawing About the G-Men. I am Big J, joined by King Zay and Sean Scanlon. Big shout out to Chris Sawyer of AnyMac Mortgage for that promo there at the beginning. So make sure you check them out. And we got some big news, a couple QB trades, and we're also going to recap the combine and preview the Giants free agency. But let's start off with the one that happened earlier today. Colts trade Carson Wentz to the Washington Commanders. We were talking about it a little bit before the show. I thought it was wild. I didn't necessarily see that coming. Carson Wentz and Frank Reich. I thought they would have ridden it out a little bit longer. But the Colts, since Andrew Luck has left, another new starting quarterback going into the season. So, and now Carson Wentz coming back to the NFC East. Sean, do you like seeing that as a Giants fan?
I love it. Carson Wentz, he had that one great season where he could have been up for MVP before he got injured, and then ever since then, he's just kind of fallen off. He's not terrible by any means. I think he's an average quarterback in the league, but he just makes too many mistakes in the pocket when he's under duress. Washington's line isn't great. He has Terry McLaurin to throw to, but other than that, not a lot of weapons. So I just don't think Carson Wentz is ever going to get back to that form that he was in 2018. And it's not like Washington has a great offense around them. Their defense kind of declined last year. So I think the Commanders were just desperate for a new QB, especially with this new name that they got. I think that they're trying to market it with a fresh new QB out there. But I just don't think it's a great move for them. I think they didn't really give up too much. 2 third-round picks isn't terrible. But I don't know. No, you're good. But I just don't think it's that much of an upgrade from Taylor Heineke, honestly. He's obviously better than Taylor Heineke, but it maybe gets them 2-3 more wins, but it doesn't make maybe a playoff team at best, but they're not going to go far with it. So I understand that they want a new QB, but I just don't think this was the right decision.
Zay, when we're looking at the NFC East here, you got it seems, it's been a roller coaster of or a merry-go-round of who's been the champion past year, and it seems like it's whoever's the champion. They gotta play the good teams at the top of every division, and then that's where they struggle, the NFC East, because it's the NFC least playing outside the division. So now you got this Commanders team with a new quarterback in Carson Wentz, who, I mean, he was okay for the Colts. They almost got in, but can he repeat that with the Commanders? I mean, Dallas, they got their struggles too. Amari Cooper was probably going to get cut, and and they're going to have to play the defending Super Bowl champs and who they just beat in the Bengals as well next season. So, I mean, Dallas has a tougher schedule. Do you think Carson Wentz and the Commanders can take advantage of that, Zay?
Yeah.
And win the NFC East?
Oh, yeah. First off, I think actually them going out and getting, I guess we can call him now Commander Carson. I think that was actually the smartest decision for them. He actually knows this division very well. He had his best season in his division. He was obviously a runner-up to MVP. Didn't get it, obviously, for obvious reasons. He lost to Tom Brady, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But whatever. So he's shown the capabilities of being a great quarterback, especially in this division. And when you look around this division, what are the Eagles? The Giants are still a question mark, and the Cowboys have question marks now because they don't even know who they're keeping. Basically, they might not have Cooper next year. They might not have Lawrence. They might have a lot of question marks going in to the season next year, and how they'll fill it. That's we don't know. Obviously, there's still question marks. Obviously, like I said, with the Giants, spots they got to fill. So I think the Redskins are actually in a really good position. We know for a while they've just needed really a quarterback, and I think Carson Wentz could actually be that guy. I hate to say it, but in this division, he could be that guy for them. He could win this division, and he could take that team to the playoffs for the first time in their, I guess, new franchise history. So I'm not putting nothing against them. Obviously, anything could happen in this division. We know how this division is, and we know that especially if this, even if you sneak in as a wild card in this division, we know the wild card from this division has done crazy things in the playoffs. So I wouldn't sleep on Carson Wentz and the Commanders. I would probably, give it, see how they perform first before I make any judgment.
All right, and it should be interesting. I'm excited. I mean, us as Giants fans, we're going to have to see Carson Wentz 2 more times again every season. So it should be interesting. And also, I mean, Carson Wentz is going to have to play the Eagles twice, and then they also do play the Colts next season as well. So a little bit of a revenge tour there. Speaking of the Colts, though, now how is this going to change up for the Colts? Where do they go as far as quarterback-wise? I've been hearing that they have kind of fallen in love with Sam Ehlinger as being like the heir to the throne, but they still want to develop him. That's what I've heard. But I've also heard Ian Rappaport tweeted that they're looking to get Jimmy G possibly as well. So, Zay, where do you see the Colts going for their QB next season?
Probably the draft, if I'm just being honest. I mean, when you look at their situation, I mean, who are you trading, and what are you trading? Who are you trading for at this point? Obviously, you could say Jimmy G, but there's so many other destinations you can go to, so many easier destinations where you could play and have better situations. Obviously, you'll have one of the best running backs in the league in Jonathan Taylor, but we seen how that team fell apart at the end of the last year. Why the heck would I want to go there? You just, you gave a guy one chance and you got rid of him. So if I'm Jimmy G, I'm definitely not wanting to go there. And the market is very thin. There's not many. Obviously, Mitchell Trubisky, the rumors of him wanting to go to the Giants, the connection to all the Bills front office and whatnot. So that's, where there's smoke, there's fire. I always say that. So I don't know that they don't look towards the draft. I don't really know who they could put there. Maybe a Jameis Winston, someone who's coming back from an injury, who's looking to earn a check, and maybe you can get him on like a cheap contract. I don't know at this point. I don't know. Probably the draft, bro. It's really thin out there. The market is super thin.
It's rough since Andrew Luck retired. This is going to be another season for the Colts heading into it with a new QB.
They'll still call
Sean,
luck.
what?
They'll still call luck. They
Oh
always
yeah,
do.
maybe. Sean, who are the Colts going to be sending out there week 1?
I agree with Zay. I think that they're going to go to the draft. It's obviously not a deep draft class for quarterbacks, but you could find some value in the late first round because they do have a roster around them in the Colts. Zay mentioned Jonathan Taylor. They have some good wideouts. Their defense is still pretty solid. So I think they do have a team ready to win right now. I think that they're just trying to find that quarterback. And obviously the past 2 seasons with Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, it didn't work out. So I think they're trying to find that QB that can get them there to win right now. But I just don't think there's a QB on the market that can get them there. I think that Jimmy G, I think that if he goes there, I think they'll be a playoff team, but similar to the past couple of years, I think they'll either lose in the first round or maybe win one game and then get bounced in the divisional round. But Jameis is pretty intriguing. I know that Jameis gets a lot of flack, and I don't know if he's going to be ready by the start of the season. Obviously, he's towards ACL about midway through the year last year. So, but if they do sign him, I think Jameis Winston could put up some numbers with that Colts team. I think that they have a team that's built to win right now. I just don't think that there's a quarterback out there, especially with Aaron Rodgers going back to Green Bay. Russell Wilson just got dealt to Denver. I just don't see a quarterback out there that's ready to step right in. So I think they might have to go to the draft. But knowing Chris Ballard, he's a pretty aggressive general manager. So I think that they will try to pursue a trade, but I just don't know who they would go after. I don't think Jimmy G would really get the job done for them.
Wait, for the record, I said who can they trade, meaning that I think everyone is solid in their spots. Like you don't want to get rid of who you have. I didn't say they didn't have anyone good. I meant like you don't want to trade anyone because you're so solid everywhere else. You just need a quarterback. That's what I was trying to get across.
Yeah. And I mean, my thing with the Colts, it shocked me when I heard that stat. I mentioned since Andrew Luck retired, they've had a different starting QB every year. It's crazy to me because they have been one of those franchises that's been very, very good with player development and guys coming up there and getting good. I mean, look at like a Quentin Nelson, even a Jonathan Taylor now, like a Darius Leonard, all these guys coming up there. They've done so well. So I don't understand why they haven't gone and gotten a quarterback and tried to get that. Why they've tried to keep fumbling around and trying to do the trade and different QBs because it's.
I think they've tried. I think it's just hard to find a franchise quarterback that's elite in the league.
But I mean, who have they tried with?
They went all in with Carson Wentz. It didn't work out.
No, but I'm talking about drafting. Get a guy, try and build on him.
Well, they had it with Andrew Luck, and then he retired.
Yeah, let's be real. They shouldn't have lost. They shouldn't have lost Andrew Luck the way they did. That was unexpected. That was.
That's just one of the freak things that happens in sports.
Yeah.
But,
and look what teams had to mortgage just to get a Russell Wilson or something. You have to give up a lot to get these franchise players. It's not like you're just giving up, some bench players and a couple of 3rd and 4th round picks. You have to give up a lot, and then you also have to have the cap space to make sure you can sign them too. That's another thing.
Yeah. Hey, it should be interesting. I don't know. Because, I mean, even like we'll talk about the combine and the draft a little bit later. There's not that many QBs that I think can come out and start. And, I mean, this team is ready to win now. Like, they got guys everywhere. But I don't know how much trust you can put in a rookie QB to get them to where they need to be, the Colts.
Bro, that's the hardest thing about being a GM. It's when you have a franchise quarterback, they're paid so much that putting talent around them is very little money to spread. And then when you have the Colts situation where you have the talent around, do you have that money to put into it to have that? Do you have enough to give, like Aaron Rodgers getting 4 years, $200 million? Do you have enough for that? That's the thing, because you have money spread around. That's where it becomes an issue. It's, are you investing in your quarterback or are you investing around? Unless you have a Tom Brady situation where he's a really great quarterback and he's willing to take less so others can be around him. That's, those situations are very rare. So I think that's why it gets very hard for the Colts in a situation where they have to go to the draft.
Yeah. You're right with that. But I will say, I mean, look at these past 2 years with Tom Brady going to the Bucks and Matt Stafford going to the Rams. The Colts, if they can find the right guy, I think this is a team that has Super Bowl potential. They could be that third team with a QB swap, but they just need to find that right guy. They got the talent, they got stuff there. So I'm intrigued to see how they go about this because, like I mentioned, NFL insider Ian Rappaport tweeted right after this trade was made that the Colts are going to get in on Jimmy G. But I mean, I don't know. Even like, I know that the Packers deal isn't like official, but what if this was the Colts' way of like freeing up some room to try and make something? I don't know. That's probably a long shot. Probably won't happen, but you never know, right?
They have to hit in the draft. You need to hit. This is why you need your quarterbacks to develop faster now in the league, because the money. When they get to that 4th or 5th year, they start wanting the money like Kyler Murray, and honestly, they want to keep Kyler Murray long term, but we all know he hasn't done anything to deserve a gigantic long term contract or to even be paid amongst the top 10 quarterbacks in the league when he's probably a top 15, top 20 quarterback based off of what he. Look, he's a great player. I'm talking about based off of what he did. I'm not talking about based off of his skill. I'm talking about based off what he's doing.
No, I agree that he doesn't deserve like the super bag, but I think he's better than a top 15 quarterback though.
No, dude.
I think he's right around top 10.
Like the first half of the season, he could be top 10, and then the second half.
Yeah, the second half he falls off. That's why I say it's so hard to judge. He gets banged up
a little, and he can't recover from it.
But that's why you want them to
every
hit
year.
young.
It's the same thing.
He's been in the league for 3 years.
Yeah, and it's been the same thing every year. He gets injured.
I agree, but
playing hurt, and he plays hurt, and he plays like shit hurt.
Look, the Chiefs
I don't disagree, but he's better than a top half of the league quarterback.
Maybe
when he's healthy and when it's early in the season, yes. When it gets late in the season, when it gets to the playoffs, we don't know who Kyler Murray is anymore. That was atrocious, that performance last year.
I mean, he's only made the playoffs once, so he's
obviously
it was a terrible showing against the Rams, but he's still got.
I think he has that potential, but right now, I mean, he stay healthy and stay consistent all year, and then we can talk about you being that good.
That's fair.
I'm saying this.
I do agree with Zay though. I mean, you win with rookie quarterbacks on the rookie contracts. That's especially with a team like the Colts that already have the pieces around them. If they can find a quarterback that hits right away on that rookie contract for super cheap, it will be huge for them. I don't know, maybe like Malik Willis or Matt Corral, but I don't know. But luckily, they do have a good line. They do have some good receivers with Pittman, T.Y. Hilton. They got Jonathan Taylor, so they do have an offense built ready for success. It's just that quarterback, has to be ready to come in and contribute right away.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, the situation being that good, as good as it is, if they wanted to bring in a rookie quarterback, that's just going to help their development, being able to have the time they can.
Need a Burrow. They need to find a Burrow.
You're right. I mean, talk about but I don't think there's a Burrow in here.
That was technically his rookie year last year. I mean, he got hurt.
This ain't the NBA, man.
How many games did he get in before he got hurt? Like,
yeah. I mean, he only played like half. He only played like half the season.
Rookie of the year over Donovan Mitchell. I don't want to hear that crap.
That was like,
you're just salty about.
Yes, I am very salty about that. And we can. Hey, stay tuned after this for posting up.
That's for another show.
Yeah. And should be fun one tonight. Yeah, NBA draft or all-time NBA draft should be fun. Whose team will win? Yeah, but all right, let's go from one QB trade to another.
The one that actually actually matters.
The Seattle Seahawks trade Russell Wilson to the Broncos. It's crazy. I kind of understand it. I get it. I mean, the Broncos, they wanted to do this. They wanted Rodgers. Now they get Wilson. This is how the Broncos win. They have that quarterback. And, I mean, this is how they won Peyton. Now they're bringing in Russell Wilson. But, I mean, the crazy thing to me about this trade is never in a million trillion years would I have thought Seattle would have kept Pete Carroll around longer than Russell Wilson. That is wild to me. But
really on the Sounders? That's gonna be odd. That's gonna be awkward. They play in the same stadium, I believe.
yeah. But I mean, I don't know, man. But I'm excited. The Broncos, obviously, they have that defense. I mean, they were competing to get into the playoffs last year. Now you got Russell Wilson. They got the wide receivers in Judy, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick's. He'll be a solid 3 option. You got Javonte Williams there. Does this make the Broncos a Super Bowl contenders, eh?
Especially now, I'm sorry. First off, the division is just a monster in the first place. For you to think that you're going to insert Russell Wilson into this division and instantly win it, yeah, good luck.
Wait, I mean, Russell Wilson's playing in the best division in football.
Here's the thing.
So why wouldn't he be able to succeed in this division?
Here's the thing. Again, the Cardinals, we know what the Cardinals are. They're hot smoke. Let's talk about it. They're not real. The 49ers don't turn it on until the end of the year, so we know how that goes. So I wouldn't just jump and throw that division as the best division in football, but here's the thing. They got to play together before anything. We don't know if there's going to be chemistry. We know Russell Wilson's a great quarterback, but we don't know how he's going to, mesh with the offensive coordinator. There's a lot that goes into this before we can just start throwing teams into the championship category. They don't have Von Miller. I don't want people to go into this thinking this is similar to Peyton Manning. Like when Peyton Manning came there were practically almost Hall of Famers at every other position around him. This was like a completely different situation. Jerry Jeudy is no Demaryius Thomas. No disrespect, but he's just not. I'm sorry. That team was loaded that year. And to assume that this is just going to happen again, I don't think it is. And not to mention that defense, elite. They don't even have Von Miller anymore. Hopefully he'll come back if he doesn't go back to the Rams. Bradley Chubb is good.
They could get Von Miller. That would be wild.
Von Miller's coming back.
They could get Von Miller. That would be weird and awesome at the same time because then they're not that super team that Odell went there for. So what's going to happen with him? That'd be weird because he expressed interest in coming back. But I thought it was because they thought they were going to get the band back together and make another run at it. But yeah, there's a lot. I'm not throwing any team, especially that made a trade and just got a new quarterback into the championship mix right away. No, I'm not doing that. I don't care. I'm just not doing it. Never will.
I think whenever you have a quarterback on your team like Russell Wilson, you're at least in the championship conversation.
Why? Were the Saints in the championship conversation last year?
No, they didn't have
Russell Wilson.
They didn't have the Seahawks.
I mean, not the Seahawks.
The Seahawks last year, before the year, yeah. When I said they weren't going to make the playoffs, you looked at me wild.
Come on, stop it.
There's a difference between making the playoffs and being a championship
LeBron, you just put him on any team and they're instantly a champ. No, it's not that way. Russell Wilson he loses games. Look, Russell Wilson is a great quarterback, but to me, he's still a tier below the Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady's for me. He's still a tier below. He's a great quarterback, but he's not that quarterback where you could put him on any team in any offense and think it's just going to work. That's what I mean by that. I still think he's a great quarterback outright, but again, he still only has one, just like Rodgers, one championship to show for it.
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, last year I don't think was that good for him because he got injured, especially on his throwing hand. So I think that's rough. But I don't know. He's good enough. I think he'll get it done. I think he'll do some great. It's going to be interesting seeing him go against Patrick Mahomes twice a year, Justin Herbert twice a year, even Derek Carr twice a year with Josh McDaniels. So it should be interesting. He's in another great conference, I mean division, and I think he definitely needed a change of pace. Also, this might be one of the best O-lines he's ever had, which is really big because, I mean, he's not forced to cook not forced to run for his life and then make a play down the field as much. He can play the actual game and set up and get reads and all that stuff even better because he will have the time to do what he needs to do, which was the biggest issue for him in Seattle. So I think he is going to be – I think he's set up to succeed. I think we will see a little bit – I think this will be a little bit of a reborn Russell Wilson we see here. I think he will get back into the swing of things and get back to the old Russ. Do you agree with that, Sean, or is he just going to continue to struggle?
No, I don't think Russell Wilson is done by any means. I think he is set up for success in Denver. Like you mentioned, he does have a pretty good O-line with Garrett Bowles, Graham Glasgow. They do have some young pieces up there that are much better. You know, Seattle just never built a good O-line for Russell Wilson pretty much his whole tenure there. He had to throw to, he had a good running game, but that O-line was always a problem. So I do like the O-line. I think it's better than anything he had with the Seahawks. Obviously, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, Cortland Sutton, they might be a tier below DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, but also Russell Wilson will have more time to throw. Javonte Williams is an absolute beast. He had to split carries with Melvin Gordon last year, but Melvin Gordon's a free agent. So once he becomes that actual running back one, I think he's going to have a breakout year. So I think the offense will be fine. I think the defense, they have a lot of free agents that they have to sign. Kareem Jackson's a free agent. Kyle Fuller is a free agent. Bryce Callahan is a free agent. So a lot of pieces in that secondary they have to re-sign. So I think that this makes the Broncos a playoff team. I think that they'll definitely make the playoffs. I don't know if they'll win the division, but I think it makes them a playoff team. But I agree with Zay that I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders. This defense just isn't. They're a pretty good defense, but they're not elite. They also just lost Vic Fangio, one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. So I think that will hurt a little bit. They do have some good pieces with Bradley Chubb, Patrick Surtain, but I just don't think this defense is at that level. And then offensively, I think they'll definitely improve without Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater. I think Russell Wilson will bounce back after a couple rough years. But he also has to – he's similar to the Cardinals like we were talking about before. He has to sustain those hot starts for the remainder of for the entirety of the season because last couple of years he's been an MVP candidate through the first couple of weeks, and then he's kind of just fell off a cliff. So he's got to sustain that throughout this whole season. If he does that, I think the Broncos could, make the playoffs, maybe win a playoff game. But I think their ceiling this year would maybe make a conference championship game. I don't see them as Super Bowl contenders yet, but this definitely does help them improve, and I think that they will make the playoffs this coming year.
Well, I mean, I agree with you about the hot start, but I mean also that has also become from injury, like Kyler Murray, and that's also because Russell Wilson's been like the most sacked QB for a while now, or at least in the top part of the league. Like,
yo, Jason, I need excuses. I'm gonna call you. You just got him for everybody.
I mean, it's the truth. It's the truth.
Oh my God! At the end of the day, you gotta play.
Then his production goes down. I want to see Russell Wilson protected.
Here's why I hate that argument.
And then I can actually judge him.
Here's why I hate that argument about the line, because when he's playing good, it's not an issue. Then the minute he starts playing bad, it's the O-line. It's the same people in front of him for the most part. Nothing
when you
really
have to run around the field all the time.
Yeah, he's doing it the whole freaking season. It doesn't change. It doesn't.
5-yard play.
We're Giants fans. We should know the line doesn't get better or worse as the season really goes on. The line is what it is for the most part. It may improve slightly, but it's not going to have dramatic changes. So to make that argument that Russell Mills, it's the line falls off at the end of the year. No, it's not the line that's falling off. It's Russell Wilson that's falling off.
No, it's because he gets injured. It's not because of the line.
He doesn't get injured every year.
Injured. Yes, he does. He's always playing banged up because he's running for his life.
That's football.
Yes, it is. But try
and rub some dirt on it, Russell.
Matthew Stafford's always injured.
Is he
though? I mean, no, yeah, this Broncos O-line is definitely it's better than any line he's had in the past 5 or 6 years with the Seahawks. But also, I mean, he does have to sustain that success throughout the whole year.
Yeah, and
still March. Can't make judgments. Still March.
You're right. You're very, very, very right. And we'll see how our opinions have shifted come August and September. But before we move on from this, we talked about the Colts when we talked about Carson Wentz. Now we got to talk about the Seahawks. They also cut Bobby Wagner. So full
End of an era.
Yeah, Bobby Wagner and Russell Wilson both no longer Seahawks before Pete Carroll. That's just wild to me. That's wild to me. I don't get it, but sure, whatever. So, I mean, it's full rebuild mode now, right? I mean,
yeah.
Just tank and hope you can get something, right? I mean,
yeah.
It's
going to be weird. Because throughout the whole 2010s, I mean, the Seahawks were always a staple as like one of the best teams in the NFC, making the playoffs every year. But it's definitely a new era. I mean, the whole Legion of Boom defense is gone now. Russell Wilson is gone, so they're gonna have to start from scratch and rebuild from there. And Pete Carroll's getting up there in age, so I don't know how long they're gonna hold on to him either. But it will be interesting to see. I think it's definitely gonna be a rough year for Seattle, though.
Do you think they just do like what the Jags did and just keep selling guys, like get rid of DK Metcalf and anyone, Jamal Adams?
They could. I mean, they could. I wouldn't be surprised by it.
They're gonna have to get rid of Jamal Adams. Remember, he left the Jets because he didn't want to be part of a rebuild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamal is definitely not happy right now. And DK Metcalf, too. I think that he had a good connection with Russ. He's a little bit of a hothead, too. So I feel like at some point he's going to have a trade request.
Jamal's trying to get traded to the Broncos, too. He's trying to see can he get thrown in the package.
Yeah, and the Broncos are going to have to give up like every first-round pick for the next 10 years or something like that.
Not for Jamal.
Not for the next 10 years, but you
Jamal and Russ.
Oh, but no, but
that
you
package,
you gave up a lot for Russ as it was. Thank God the Giants didn't do it. Sheesh.
That's what I was trying to tell you, Zay.
Woo, that was ugly.
Yeah, but I mean, who knows?
We can lose some weight, but I'll say that for later.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that. But I mean, who knows though? Like I mentioned before, Tom Brady, new team wins a Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford, new team wins a Super Bowl. Could Carson Wentz or Russell Wilson be that next one?
Russell Wilson, maybe. Carson Wentz, hell no.
No, we just talked about
You don't know. You never know. You never know,
Bowls, bro. He's got 7. Excuse me, it's 7, right? Brady has 7.
Yeah.
He's got 7, bro. You could put him, yes, on any team and that'll work. How many does Wentz have? 1?
Yeah.
And he didn't even play.
He
didn't even play.
You never know.
Russ got 1.
Matt Stafford did have 0 as well. Yeah.
Who?
Matt Stafford.
Who?
Yeah, that's a little different.
And Russell Wilson should have too if it wasn't for
also. And I mean,
Carroll.
You can talk about the coaches as well. Bruce Arians and Sean McVay. Ron Rivera's been there before.
All right, stop with the command now. We're talking about the Broncos.
Again, you're comparing the Broncos. You look at the receivers the Broncos have, and look at the receivers the Rams have. I mean, of course you get it done in the first year of your Stafford. You got to get the hell out of town. You got what do you like? I can't even believe you even.
I don't know, man. All right, okay, all right. Let's regroup. We'll take a break here. We'll come back and we'll talk about the combine and free agency. Let's focus everything, and we'll come back. We'll talk about the Giants. All right, we're getting too crazy talking about all this around the league stuff. Let's just get crazy about the Giants, okay? So we'll be back right after this.
Do you have a 401k and some savings for future retirement, but don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? How often are you thinking about it? The team at JPEX Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies in the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident in your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website and give us a call at 860-430-5397. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. JPEX Financial Group, LLC is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services. JPEX Financial Group is located at 78 Eastern Boulevard, Glastonbury, Connecticut.
All right. Now let's talk about the combine. I love the combine. It's interesting to see them go through all the drills and that stuff. And everyone loves to talk about the 40. It's all about the 40 every year. I mean, and if we're talking about the 40, let's talk about Jordan Davis, baby. 6'6", 340, running a 4.87, I think was the
4.78.
4.78. Yeah. That is just insane. A man that big, being that fast. Hey, I mean, if I'm the Giants, I kind of like him. With that 7th pick?
No thanks.
Why no thanks, Sean?
Because we already have 2 D tackle. We already have Leonard Williams, who we're paying a lot. Dexter Lawrence, who I don't like personally. I don't think.
Dexter Lawrence might be on his way out. Give him
I hope so. But still, I mean, we can't just keep stacking D tackle after D tackle. We're always good at drafting D tackles. Like, we have a history of it, and then they just don't do much. But we never have any edge rushers ever since we left JPP. So Jordan Davis, he's a great prospect. I think he'll be a great player. But I'd rather get an edge rusher than Jordan Davis.
Okay.
I think he'll be out of shape mid-season.
He is a freak athlete. But, I mean, the Indianapolis police should have been in there, and they should have locked this man up, though, because that should not be legal. A man that's 340 running a 4.78.
Yeah. I would never want to play quarterback.
That shouldn't be humanly possible. What's up with that?
It's crazy. I mean, everyone's talking about his pad level and that stuff. It doesn't matter. The man's a monster. He's going to throw people around. I mean, everyone's talking about his ability to get after the quarterback. When you're a DT like that, you don't need to get after the quarterback. When you're that tall, you can just put your hand up and bat down balls. But also, the thing with him, why I think he would do good for the Giants, is he will be able to eat up blockers. He'll be able to eat up a guard and center to free up a guy like Ojulari to get on a one-on-one situation, Quincy Roche to get on a one-on-one situation, and get and show a little bit of that edge rush that I think they have in them, and be able to get after the quarterback. But I get what you mean. There's a lot of great edge rushers, and I'm sure we'll talk about them. But Jordan Davis, man, that dude's it was crazy to watch him at the combine, and people still got him. People still like in the mid-teens. I don't know, man. This dude's a stud. And I think he'll be up top 10 there. I think you can make the argument for number 1 overall, to be honest with you. He's a beast. Right. He's a monster.
You lost me there, Jay.
All right. Let's talk. Hold on. Actually, Todd McShay, the man from Bristol, he put out his latest mock draft today. You want to know what he had the Giants picking? A wide receiver.
Yeah, I don't.
What? What?
He took a wide receiver. I don't.
An edge and a wide receiver. No O-line. What is going? Like, it's ridiculous. But okay.
Why do you know?
Pay the big bucks. Hey, they're the analysts, right?
If Joe was here, he would be yelling at you for listening to mock draft.
You're right.
You know,
the agency hasn't started. You're right.
Like, I don't know why they make their mock drafts. Let people have free agency first. You know, be up here mad.
You're right. All right, let's get back to the combine then. You're right, Say. Sean, who is someone that impressed you at the combine?
I mean, it was obvious, but I mean, it was Jordan Davis, the guy that I wrote down. I mean, just a dude that size running that fast, and also, I mean, his vertical and his broad jump were pretty impressive too. So, look, I don't have him on the Giants' radar, but I do agree his draft stock definitely rised up. I know some of the mock drafts I saw before the combine, he was like low 20s, like mid 20s, but his stock definitely just went up. But I just don't like him for the Giants. But yeah, I mean, all those Georgia boys though. Trayvon Walker also had a very good combine. I don't know what Kirby Smart is feeding them down in Georgia, but it's ridiculous. So a lot of the Georgia guys did really good. Nakobe Dean as well. So they're all those Georgia defenders from that national championship team. I'm sure there'll be a lot of first rounders out of them. Yeah,
Trayvon Walker's the guy that the Giants could pick at that edge. Who do you think the Giants should take then, Sean?
I think you got to go one of the tackles with one of those picks. Now that the Jaguars just franchise tagged, what's his name?
Cam Robinson.
Okay, Cam Robinson, yeah. Now that they franchise tagged him, I'm pretty sure they're going to go with either Hutchinson or Thibodeau. So that has one of the tackles just falling even further to us. So either Charles Cross or Ike Ikwanu from NC State. I think you got to go with one of those if they're there. And then if Kayvon Thibodeau, I've seen him dropping in a lot of mock drafts. If he falls to us at either 5 or 7, I mean, you got to run up to the board with that. We need a pass rusher desperately. I know Ojulari is good, but if we can pair another one up with him, especially like an elite guy with Thibodeau, I would definitely want to do that. So one of those tackles, Kayvon Thibodeau, and I like Tyler Linderbaum too. I know centers are super valuable, but I mean, he's a beast. He's the best center in the country by far. Nick Gates is going to be out probably all next year, and he's one of the best O-linemen overall, and you need somebody up there to call out the defenses. You need a strong interior O-line, which we haven't had in a couple years. So I wouldn't hate Tyler Linderbaum at 7 either.
Yeah, I like both. I like Linderbaum. He's a beast. I think he'll do well. And also Shane Lemieux coming back from injury. I think he'll I like him at guard. He hasn't really had a chance to shine. So I think
he had a chance.
Listen.
He can't pass protect for anything.
Listen. But on to Kayvon Thibodeau. That dude,
why don't you like Thibodeau, Zay?
No, I like him. But, I mean, when you have all these – when everyone's talking about your motor and that stuff, everyone's saying you take time off, you take plays off, you're very lackadaisical at times, you're sitting out unintentionally. When people are talking about that and you go to the combine and just run the 40, you're feeding into all the haters and that stuff. Go out and actually perform. Go do what everyone else is. When people are talking about your motor, you don't just take drills off and that stuff. So, I mean, I get it. I think he will be a stud. But I think that's going to be an issue,
He'll be fine.
An underlying issue. Because, I mean, it happens. It's on tape. We saw it at the combine. This isn't an issue that just goes away. Especially when you get your first paycheck of a lot of money. I think that's going to actually worsen it because then you're going to have all these other distractions. So I don't know. I'm very, very skeptical on Kayvon Thibodeau. I talked about being skeptical on Evan Neal earlier in the season. I think those two guys, if I'm the Giants, I'm scratching my head. I'm kind of pissed off if they take, but I will take Thibodeau. Sorry.
Those are the 2 best players in the draft.
No, I don't know about
2
that.
of the top 3.
But
we ready?
Maybe. Zay.
You got that out? You got that out? I had to let you get that out.
What you got about Tibbs?
I don't even want to hear a name.
Oh, now I know why he doesn't like Tibbs. Okay, now it makes sense.
That's not why I don't like him. Jace pointed out every reason why I don't like him. He's your Davion Clowney 2.0. We've seen this picture before. He's going to be one of these players that fall off a cliff 2 years into the league. I'm telling you now. He'll come out having a good year, then after that he'll go disappearing. Look, I don't even know what Chase Young's going to be. And he had a great year in Ohio State and wasn't that great last year and before the injury. He was all right. So I'm not too big on this. I got other guys on my list. And again, like Joe says, it's hard to add players because you don't know what the Giants are going to do in offseason. They could go out and get Bobby Wagner. You know we need another linebacker. You know, obviously, Bobby Wagner, we wouldn't sign him to no long-term deal. But if he can still play, you can put him next to Blake Martinez, and hopefully them two can play together and make something work out because anything could be better than Cam Brown or what's the other linebacker we had there?
Tay Crowder is not.
Tay Crowder, yeah.
Yeah, with what money are we going to go out and get Bobby Wagner?
Look, if you got to think at this age, he's got to be willing to just take any. I would hope he'd be willing to just play.
Yeah,
he's old. He's had injuries.
Giants.
We'll see. Who knows? You never know. You really never know. And again, if they address the O-line and actually pull out something, they might not draft O-line first round. We don't know what the front office is going to do. So obviously, Sean mentioned all the O-line players that the Giants can go after. So I'm not going to go and revisit that. I put together my own list of players I would like to see the Giants go get. Those 3 players. The first player on my list would be Devin Lloyd. Again, if they don't get a linebacker, I would like to see them get Devin Lloyd. He's explosive. He rushes the passer. He can get in the backfield and make things happen. And the Giants need that in the worst way since we have no edge rush. again,
I don't.
I'm
Yeah, I
mentioning
like that pick.
players that just in case I don't know who they're going to, who they're going to sign in free agency. So I'm just putting players out there. Next for me will be Kyle Hamilton. Now, this is a weird one for me because obviously the Giants already have another safety in Jordan Love from Notre Dame, and we see how that's going. He's up and down. But Kyle Hamilton is a freak at 6'4". He's an absolute unicorn. The kid could cover the field. Lefty, he can cover the field no matter where he's playing. Gets down the box, makes the tackle. The Giants need a safety that can get in the box and make tackles. We've seen what happened last year when they don't have a safety that can come on the blitz and make it. The Giants obviously end up vulnerable on the other end, and our corners end up getting beat because we don't have the best corners in the league. Which brings me to my last pick, Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati. I think the Giants could use him, especially not knowing if we're going to get Bradbury back if he doesn't restructure his contract. You could plug him in there. He can instantly be a starter for the Giants in that secondary, and he can also do punt return because the Giants need punt and kick return in the worst way. So those are my three guys I'm going to put out there. Just out of the box because obviously everyone's going to say O-line. I'm just thinking out of the box real quick. My opinion, three best available. What is going on?
I like that, Zay. I like that a lot. I like that a lot, especially Sauce Gardner. I love Sauce Gardner. He's a beast. Cincy, baby. But, I like all those picks. They all would be interesting. I'm excited to see free agency, how that plays out, and see what goes on here. But, I mean, can't necessarily not mention the QBs, even though it's not a big QB draft class.
You don't have to mention
Desmond Ridder was a beast. Did you see his 40?
Good for
like
him.
4.44.
Oh, speaking of, I forgot to even mention what's his name? Oh my God.
And Malik Willis is a beast.
Oh my God, Mario Barno. That was who I wanted to mention. His 40 time for the D lineman was a 4.36. That's the fastest since 03. I was like, oh geez, when I seen that the other day. I was like, who is that guy again? Yeah, that guy from Virginia Tech. Yeah, no. That was crazy. Obviously, I didn't watch that. I just, I seen a couple of headlines. Only Jay sits at home and watches the combine. I don't know.
I watched the highlights. But also,
right. You lying? You watched the. You watched the.
He set aside his whole day. He got rid of all his plans.
Hold on. Yep. He set aside the whole
line.
Put his phone on do not disturb.
Yep.
You know it.
Popcorn out. Watch NFL Network.
Got a notebook. Look at his technique. Look at his technique.
Yeah. But I will say, a tight end is going to be a big need for the Giants. I know that isn't something that's going to be like a first round, but that's something they're going to need to address in the draft. But I will say this year is really good because I think there's a lot of very competent and able to start in the NFL, especially right off the bat, people in college. I mean, there's some guys that played tight end, running back, and were just all over the field. So it's be interesting to see Giants get someone like that to plug in because, I mean, that's what the Giants need is a tight end to actually do something besides drop the football. But
that would be nice.
That would be very, very nice. All right. I mean, we were talking about it all. We were alluding to it. Talked about it all free agency preview. Giants, everyone's talking about Mitchell Trubisky. I love it. I bring him in. I mean, he has – while everyone loves to put a lot of blame on him for not being Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson, he was serviceable for the Bears. Brought him to the playoffs. He was serviceable. He was all right. He wasn't great. He wasn't elite.
I wouldn't say he brought him to the playoffs.
He did. He was the quarterback. Their defenses were great, but he still had to do enough to get them their wins, right?
Yeah, but Yeah, but he didn't bring him to the playoffs. The defense did.
A quarterback still has.
He just didn't mess up enough.
Yeah, he didn't mess up enough. He brought him to. Yeah, okay, sure. We'll go with that. But still, I mean, that is something that the Giants, the foundation of Giants football is built on. And, I mean, bringing in someone like him to come in and Daniel Jones. I mean, that's what we talk about Daniel Jones all the time. That's what he needs to be. I think having Mitchell Trubisky go toe-to-toe with Daniel Jones, having them duke it out, especially under this new regime, under Joe Shane and Brian Dable, I think it should be interesting. And if Daniel Jones is going to be that franchise quarterback that we want him to be, he has to come in and he has to win this. He has to win the starting position because he hasn't really had that competition. Yeah, with Eli for a little bit, but then Eli got hurt, and then it was just all over there. So I mean, I need to see this, and it should be interesting. But you talked about free agency still needs to happen first, right? Say Joe's talked about it. Who should the Giants pursue in free agency? I mean, you picked. Are they going after an O lineman since you picked all those non-O linemen in the draft?
I hope they're going after O linemen. I told you when it comes to certain positions, I'd rather have guys who are known commodities. I'd rather not draft and hope and wish on a prayer. Obviously, again, we got really lucky with Thomas. Because it wasn't looking good in the beginning with Andrew Thomas. It was like, damn, did we really take the best offensive lineman available? So obviously he's turned his career around. So hopefully that's a good thing. But I don't know, maybe I don't know. I hope. I wasn't obviously thinking of who they can get as a lineman. Free agency. Like I said, I mentioned I hope they would go after Bobby Wagner and make my dreams come true. And but I don't think that's going to happen. Again, the Giant it's hard to have a Giants free agency outlook knowing the Giants ain't got no money. Right, as it stands right now. Currently as it stands, they ain't got no money. And that's why I really haven't been digging that deep. If they could clear up $40 million, again, I said I hope they can go after Bobby Wagner, but then again, that takes up a huge chunk of that $40 million right off the bat. So I don't know how that would go. I don't know, Sean. Help me out, bro. You got linemen? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I was in the same exact boat as you. I literally have not even been paying attention to free agency this year just because I don't expect the Giants to go out and spend a lot. But I was looking at some of the names before we went on the show. I think they have to go after interior O-line because obviously we need a tackle on the right side next to Andrew Thomas, but I'm assuming that we do that in the draft, even if it's not first round, maybe even second round. But that interior line is still a mess right now, especially with Nick Gates out. Will Hernandez, terrible. He's a free agent, so hopefully he's gone. And then Shane Lemieux, I know Jason's a big fan of him, but I just don't think he's a starter in this league. I think he would be a good depth piece. So a couple of names, James Daniels from the Bears. He's a free agent from Iowa a couple years ago. I think he's a solid guard that they can go after, and I think it would be for relatively cheap. And then Laken Tomlinson, guard from the Niners. I just think they need a guard in there because that, like I said, the interior line has really been crap past couple of years, especially in pass protection. Most of those guys are not bad with run blocking, but pass protection, that's where all this pressure comes from, especially from the middle. So I think interior O-line, and then if they don't go edge rusher in the draft, there's some names out there, but I just don't think that we're going to have enough money. Even if we restructure a lot of the contracts, even if we cut a bunch of guys, I just don't think we're going to have money. I mean, a couple of names that I would like to get are Randy Gregory. He's been a beast for the Cowboys when he's out of trouble. And Hassan Reddick from the Panthers. I think he's a solid edge rusher too, but I just don't think the Giants will have money for that. So free agency, I really think they have to go after interior O-line.
Yeah, I like that. I will say I don't think they're going to go after edge. I agree with you, Sean. I think especially with how deep the edge, how good edge rush of a draft pool this is. I think you get one of those guys and live with that, or just take a chance with one of those guys and try and develop them. But I do think I mentioned Jordan Davis. I mean before, but I think you do need to bring in another interior guy, especially with the certainty of Dexter Lawrence being with the future of Dexter Lawrence being uncertain. That's what I was trying to say there. And I think a guy like Calais Campbell, for very cheap, bring him in, have him kind of like work with him, mentor Dexter Lawrence, try and learn from him, and give him some competition, especially in this prove-it year for him. So I think something like that. And we're talking about O-line. I think a guy like Bradley Bozeman, interior O-lineman for the Ravens, he played center and guard. I think you bring him in, try him. I mean, we've seen how they like to shift up, or that was Joe Judge, but how they shifted up the O-line And I think when you have a guy who can be versatile like that, knows how to play that, knows how the defense looks from all those different angles, I think that would be really good and beneficial. And you also have a former teammate of his in Bredson on this team as well, so that might help them. So I think those two guys are going to be guys they should go after. And I mean, I don't want to hear any wide receiver stuff. I mean, you got the talent there. They need to figure it out. No one's gonna go out and get another weapon. If you're gonna get another weapon, have it be a tight end. I don't know. A lot of people still talking about going after and getting like a Martez, Valding-Scantling, or something like that, or getting someone in the draft. Nah, Giants don't need a wide receiver. And
He's
also, I
stay
mean,
healthy.
I'm here. Cole Beasley. I'm here. Cole Beasley wants to come here too. Ugh.
Wow.
I don't need no more ex-Cowboys.
But I will say I'm going to applaud the Cowboys here for a second. I know it sucks. It pains my heart to do. Listen, them cutting Amari Cooper is smart. He's old. He's getting injured. He's getting banged up. He's missing games.
Yeah.
Don't try and restructure him like you're doing with Sterling Shepard. Just cut him, get the cap space, and try and bring in someone new who can actually help.
See, that's where you're wrong. I would have probably restructured Amari and cut Shepard. That's the way. Amari still has a little. He'll go to New England or something like that, and watch, he'll be a dog again. He'll go sign with New England. He'll get Mac Jones, and he'll be a dog again all of a sudden. That's how it'll watch.
I don't know.
Shepard, I think it's case for Shepard. I don't think he's that good. I think he's decent when he's healthy. Y'all know how I feel about him. I ain't got to tell y'all again.
Yeah. I mean, we all feel the same way now. Man, I mean, Shep's just got to go.
Yeah, I love Shep, but I agree. If they cut him, I would be fine with it.
Or I mean, take a pay cut. Sure. Free up something, but I mean, I'm not mad.
Take a pay cut for what?
I don't know. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to restructure him.
If you
I don't know why.
Just write his name down on the injury list week 1 because he'll be there at some point. Just keep writing it every week.
It's like the Browns using the franchise tag on Njoku. You're just franchising a guy to spend 10 weeks on the IR. Just wasted the franchise tag.
Shepard had an Achilles injury too at that, like right at the end of the year. So it's not even like he's going to be ready for start of the year.
Come back. You can come back. You can come back for him.
Yeah, but I think he's going to miss at least the first couple weeks though.
No, I'll be back. Trust me. He'll be back.
No,
he'll be back.
Well, he'll be back just to get injured again.
Cut him and restructure something.
Yeah, I mean, if we cut Shep, we save about $4.5 million. So I think they got to do it.
They could honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. They could cut him now, and then by preseason they could re-sign him because I don't think anyone else will take him. Let's be real.
Someone.
Let's be completely no.
Not for $10 million a year like we did.
There's not much money in cutting him neither. It's not like we're getting a huge sum of money. It's not like we're getting $20,000 for cutting.
It's still something.
Yeah, we need everything we can get right now. Yeah. We're in the negatives.
Yeah, it's rough. But all right, we'll continue to keep it going, especially as free agency ensues, and hopefully Joe Shane can figure out something to free up a little bit more cap space. One thing I don't want, I could totally see this playing out. It would be a Gettleman move. I don't want them to bring in Eric Fisher and have him be like a Nate Solder. There's a guy who's way past his prime coming in, just taking up a spot, being a liability on that O-line. Don't do that, please, Joe Shane. Please, sir.
Yeah, you got to build this O-line through the draft.
Through the draft, figure it out, and build something that can last and can keep the Giants competitive. Come on, I think Joe Shane and Brian Dable can do it, but this is the foundation you're gonna have to build upon. I mean, you've already made some good moves. I like Kyle Rudolph felt good. I like the Devontae Booker cut. And now you're gonna really have to prove yourself here with free agency and the draft. And let's see. I'm excited to see what happens because I think the Giants can turn it around, but we'll see.
Hope so.
Yeah. But all right, if you're a basketball fan, stay tuned after this because we'll be going live with the Posting Up podcast. But that's going to do it for John about the G-Men. Big shout out to Chris Sawyer and Annie Mac Mortgage for sponsoring today's episode and JPEX Financial Group But I'm Big Jace. That's King Zay. There's Sean Scanlon. And we'll be back next week, hopefully with Joe Guire back to talk more.
Joe don't like us. He don't like us no more.
Maybe.
So we can go over Joe's mock draft.
We gotta change our intro. That's what it
Favorite
is.
thing.
We gotta change our intro. That's what it is. Keys to the City got a good intro. That's why he stays there now. We gotta we gotta rap on our intro or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I guess maybe, but
Come on with a fire verse, Jace.
Oh yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he likes staring in the eyes. I don't know.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time on John About the G-Men. Take care.
Sanderson looking in, zone for a pass. He's looking for King, intercepted. He's going to go down the right side. Lawrence down to the 20, 30, down to the 40. He might go all the way.
3rd down and 7. Good jump off the line by Strahan, who gets the sack. Pressure from Thomas off the edge. Eli Manning stays on his feet. Airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree.
4-man rush. Eli throwing into traffic on the sideline. They're going to rule it a catch by Manning.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All 4 Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Burn, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting Clovercrest